Hi, everyone. Mike Doloff, Chief Revenue Officer, Inflow Communications. I have with me Travis Dillard, President and CEO.
Hello.
Hey, Travis. Glad to be talking with you today. One of my favorite topics, and that is the non-contact center contact center, right? That is the organization that says, hey, we're not a call center. We don't have this sort of call center function, and yet they are. And I feel like there's actually way more of these types of companies than there are what people think of as a call center. And so kick this off. Tell me, kind of elaborate a little bit on this. What are these types of organizations, and what are some of the things you see as positives and opportunities, and then also some places where people are fumbling here?
Sure. Well, it's not just companies that don't consider themselves a call center or a contact center company. It's also companies that might have a contact center, but that's individuals within that company that don't consider themselves a part of a contact center. Oh, that's them over there in that room or that floor. And that's not the case anymore. If you're thinking archaically like that, you're going to be left behind. I believe if anybody in your organization interacts with a customer, whether that's accounting, whether that's project management, whether that's account management, whatever the case is, you're a part of that contact center. You are contacting or receiving contact by those customers, right? And so so everybody is a part of that. And I think that, if I was to try and visualize this, I would think of, you have your people who are interacting with your customers, and then you have a technology stack around those people. And that technology stack needs to all be tied to a standard data set about those customers. And that technology stack allows customers to interact with those people on the channel of their choice. So perhaps, use examples, take Inflow, for example. We have our customer success managers, traditionally account management role. They're a contact center, right? And customers, they should be able to come in and interact with customer success on their terms, right? So say you're coming in on a messaging app, a company application, or SMS, or web chat, or traditional voice. That interaction should come in. You should have access to data, and that customer should come in on the channel of their choice to the person that can take care of their need or answer their question immediately. And that's all done, again, through that tech stack, standardizing on that data set. And so that's, to me, that's the modern contact center.
I love it. Yeah, I think I've worked with organizations, and I bet all of us can think of some, if you think for a minute here, of organizations that you wouldn't think of as a call center, but that customer experience was really good. That's the organization I think we're talking about here, right? It's not this, it's not, do we appreciate when we call into a specific call center for support question or customer service and we get good help? Absolutely. But so many businesses have so many different touch points, right? Like you said. And so that the whole experience needs to feel good too. And I think one of the things that I've seen be a problem besides this, like you said, this common shared data, a tech stack, right, that enables people across departments. One of the things I think that's the antithesis to this, that when you feel a bad customer experience or an organization that you feel like, man, they just don't have it together, a lot of times it's silos, right? The data is siloed, the technology is siloed, the channels are siloed.
People are siloed.
People are siloed, right? And so, you call in and you open up a communication with them, and you have to give information twice. Why am I giving information twice? Oh, I'm sorry, that's another system, and you transferred over or whatever. We've all had those experiences. These are the problems, right? So I think this breaking down of silos is really a big part of the non-contact center experience that people want, right? That customer experience. Tell me a little bit, Travis, about what about from, I think a key area too, right, is instead of thinking about how we operate, you have to flip it around too and look at how's the customer navigating through us? What's that journey look like for them, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's all the buzz right now. People are trying to figure out, the journey mapping, the customer journey. How does a customer interact? Do they start off talking to someone in sales, and then they're talking to people in project management, and then accounting, and then perhaps operations and project teams and different things? And yeah, you need to understand all the touch points that your customers have with you, and then you need to figure out what type of friction are they feeling. Just like you mentioned, if you're having to hop essentially from one silo or another, and like you hit it on the head, a silo can be a channel, it can be a data stack, it could be a tech stack, it could be people, and so you need to understand that customer journey, and you need to understand those friction points. And I think something that is often underemphasized, and Chris Riccio would would agree with us. He's our director of contact center and advanced applications. It's data, data, data. Data to me is the denominator, the common denominator. You can have the best technology and the best people, the best culture, but if you're not operating on one common language, which is your customer's data, then none of it's possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, just this last weekend, actually yesterday, I was working with an airline and I needed to add a lap infant to a ticket. And that sounds like painful, a call or whatever. And I was juggling said infant in my office. Well, and I was like, I got to do this. And I realized, oh, I can SMS this actually. They said, hey, here's an SMS channel, right? And so again, I start an SMS conversation, and at my leisure, right, as I'm kind of multitasking, I'm able to pass enough information, and it's seamless, right? I know behind the scenes, different databases, different stuff, different whatever, customer service versus reservations versus whatever. I know all those things exist, right? I work in a business too, but I didn't feel any of that, right? The experience is simple.
And you shouldn't have to care about that.
Yep.
Really, that's not your job. Your job is to interact with the brand of the business and get along your merry way. Sure.
Yeah. So it was cool. It's fun. I mean, I think we harp often on the bad experience, but there are organizations out there that are figuring this out and really doing well because of it, right? I know from a consumer perspective, right? Those are the businesses that I gravitate towards when I'm looking to spend money, ones that make it easy for me, right?
Yeah.
I think all of us have ones off the top of our head we can think of. We spend probably sometimes more money than we wish on some of these, but part of it's because it's that experience, right? They make that easy. All that they're thinking through the friction and consciously trying to stamp that out and make it smoother and easier.
Well, there's something emotional too about it. They care about you and your time, right? And they care about what you're going through. Obviously, there's profit motives behind it oftentimes, but you do feel that as a consumer, like these people do care about. It's not about how they can be more efficient; it's how they can provide a better experience for you to get along, to get what you need and move on. Sorry to interrupt.
No. I mean, and I think you can put the sort of coin operated lens on it too and say it benefits them, right? And that's it. That's the win-win, right? You feel better if you're the business or the consumer buying that product or service, and they're better because they're making it more efficient, more revenue. They know, right? So, I mean, it's nice. I think it's a cool way that we're seeing more and more of. And yeah, so those companies that have it figured out, they're going to continue to win. Those that aren't paying attention to it, watch out, right? Like we always talk about, there are plenty of other businesses or people out there that would be happy to take care of your customers for you if you don't want to.
Yeah, and I think you also hit it on the head when you need to take your hat off and need to put the customer's hat on, and you need to understand what does it look like to interact with my company, and how can I make that better? And you've got traditionally things like omni-channel and AI and common data and all these all these data integration. That was for the big companies that still did a real poor job at it, but they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars. But now you've got anybody has that technology and that capability, especially in the SaaS world, right? And so watch out, big companies, because anybody can spin up a contact center and spin up the right data and the right culture and just be a motorboat doing circles around you. And those are the companies that are going to thrive for sure.
Totally. Love it. As always, Travis, appreciate it. For those watching, definitely feel free to comment and share any thoughts, experiences. I always love the shout outs for good companies too that are doing a good job. So share those in the comments and look forward to talking more with you soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.